Hello, my fellow musers, friends, and guests. Welcome to the Musing Show. I'm your host, once again, Tanya D, Holistic Sha Medium. And as always, thanks for joining me. So how are you enjoying these tips for living healthy and younger longer? So this is tip number 10, keeping your gut healthy and balanced. You guessed it, we're going to talk or muse about poop. So did you know that we have an inner environmental ecosystem composed of an estimated 100 trillion friendly and unfriendly flora, also known as our human gastrointestinal microbiota or probiotics. So they live and thrive in our human digestive tract. So these microbial community in the intestine consists of more than 500 species, most of which have not been cultivated with, and many have yet to be even identified. A diverse microbiota is a healthy one because the more species of bacteria you have, the more your body is able, with the assistance of this microflora population, to combat sickness, disease, and even decline. So over lifespan, our inner bacterial population slowly shifts towards disease promoting rather than disease preventing. So our flora balance might impact how our body rids itself of toxins, how we metabolize calories, how our bodies handle insulin production, and how our brain functions, including how the function affects our behavior. So our intestinal tract is so packed with bacteria that half of the stool is not leftover food, it's a microbial biomass. And just as quickly as they are excreted, they multiply to replenish their numbers. So the intestinal tract contains more chemical detection and signaling molecules than any other organ in our body. So probiotics can help restore our body's natural intestinal protection against all kinds of diseases that are non-intestinal, and they work to shield us from diseases associated with aging when they're in healthy numbers. And probiotics also help reduce inflammation, which has the potential to trigger certain skin conditions. For example, studies are showing that probiotics hold promise for treating skin conditions like acne, rosacea, even eczema. And I even had a client whose entire body was inflamed with a combination of all of those. And it had to do with his eating habits, or what I call your nutrition quotient or your NQ. So changing his entire skin and body with healthy green smoothies, and I'll put the link in the Endnotes here if you're ready to shift your NQ. But there's some evidence suggesting, or it exists, that probiotics might help to build collagen, which is the main protein in our skin that affects the texture and even the tone. So these same studies indicated that increased numbers of friendly flora in the body might also support better hydration of aging skin, reduce sun damage, and even lessen the appearance of those fine lines and deep wrinkles. So probiotics can restore acidic skin pH, alleviate oxidative stress, lessen photoaging, which is skin damage caused by UVA and UVA exposure, improve skin barrier function, and enhance the quality of our hair. Dermatologists have even recently researched and even proven actually that there's a direct link between our gut and our skin health, which is hilarious because I've known that forever. A dermatologist in New York, her name's Whitney Bowe, she even went on to advocate for a gut-changing diet in her book, The Beauty of Dirty Skin. So this diet is primarily based on low glycemic index foods combined with bacteria-rich fermented ones. So it's intended to alter the trillions or the strong population of this intestinal flora and reduce inflammation, including skin-related outbreaks. So fixing the gut microbiome has been linked to a wide range of other health benefits, and studies even show it might help lower the occurrence of even cancer, strokes, and obesity. Scientists went on to call this relationship between our intestinal flora and the skin, the gut-skin axis. Another dermatologist type doctor, Justin Sonnenberg, he's kind of an associate professor of microbiology and immunology at Stanford University of Medicine. He illustrates this relationship when he says, it's certainly true that what happens in the gut isn't confined to the gut. He's gone on to say that it's part of this integrated system that is all of you, your gastrointestinal microorganisms, and how they affect your metabolism, your immune response, stress, change something in your gut microbiome, and your diet is just one of the most powerful levers that we have, and the effects actually ripple outward, and it's potentially to our skin. So our skin can be improved from within when given the right nutritional building blocks, including these probiotics, because everybody's gut and skin microbiome, which is a distinct community of all of these microorganisms that exist within our skin and our immune system, they're all very different. So simply taking a probiotic supplement with the intention to cultivate this flourishing intestinal flora population is kind of a bit dicey. And Whitney Bowe, she actually encourages taking a probiotic supplement, but only in conjunction with following a smart, well-balanced diet. At least 70% of the strength of our immune system resides in our gut, which is interesting, and the makeup of this intestinal bacteria. And scientists have discovered that our intestinal good and bad bacteria are actually thrown out of balance by practices such as the use of antibiotics, consumption of the Western diet, what I call the American SAD diet, processed foods basically, receiving certain medical treatments from the doctor, living with obesity. So these imbalances contribute to a lot of chronic conditions like autoimmune disorders, metabolic syndrome, diabetes, chronic fatigue syndrome, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease even, obesity, and so much more. Those all sound really fun, don't they? Kidding. So, one of the best ways to support our microflora population is through the foods that we consume. So go ahead and eat a diverse diet that's rich in whole foods, plenty of fruits and vegetables, legumes, beans, which are the best source of nutrients for a healthy microbiota. They are all high in fiber, which can be digested by your body by certain bacteria in our guts, which stimulates growth of the friendly flora. Consume fermented foods and beverages. And this fermentation process uses the microbes, such as bacteria and yeast, to preserve foods. But these are beneficial little microorganisms, and they eat those sugars and can support this intestinal health. Fermented foods are shown to provide actions in our body that are anti-cancer, anti-obesity, anti-constipation, which then promotes colon health. So probiotic properties, cholesterol reduction, antioxidant, anti-aging properties, brain health, immune system fortification, and what I'm into is just greater overall skin health. So what are fermented foods? They include yogurt. People who eat a lot of yogurt appear to have more of that lactobacilli in their intestines and have fewer bad bacteria. You know, another long word that I can't produce, but basically it's a bacteria associated with inflammation and a number of chronic diseases. Kefir, a fermented dairy product, similar to yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, pickles, miso, tempeh, fermented tofu, tamari, kombucha, apple cider vinegar. And you can also consume prebiotic foods, and these are foods that promote the growth of beneficial microbes in the small intestine. They're mainly fiber or complex carbs that can be digested by human cells, but can be digested by certain species of bacteria, which uses them as fuel. So eat whole grains, which contain lots of fiber and non-digestible carbs, because these carbs are not absorbed in the small intestine, and instead they travel to the large intestine, where they are broken down by this microbiota, which then promotes the growth of certain bacteria. So you can consume polyphenol, which are rich foods. These are like plant compounds that can't always be digested by human cells, but consequently make their way into the colon, where they can be digested by this intestinal flora. Examples of these health-enriching polyphenols would be rich foods including cocoa, dark chocolate, red wine, my favorites, green tea, almonds, onions, blueberries, broccoli. So refrain from using artificial sweeteners. And a number of studies show they can negatively affect the gut and this microbacteria that hangs out there. Take a quality probiotic supplement. Consult with your favorite health food store for their feedback on top quality probiotics, or with your holistic practitioner who might have scientific data to share with you, or who might also know about strains of probiotics that might just work best for you. So go ahead and just check out the Endnotes for more information and inspiration. And if you're ready to upcycle your NQ, your nutrition quotient, with a body detox, I have a link in the show notes all about detoxing. Go to Green Skinny Girl in the show notes. I have the link there as well. And if you haven't followed me on any social media platforms, you can find me at What's Up Tanya D on Facebook. On Instagram, I'm at the Tanya D. On Twitter, I'm at Green Skinny Girl. YouTube, that's probably where you found me. I'm at Tanya D. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And ring the bell. Sharing is caring, okay? Give a girl some love. On iTunes, subscribe to my podcast, Musing with Tanya D. Season 2 was all about the elements, a view from an energetic perspective. Season 3 is about the energetic world. And 2020 is the subtle energy season. Visit my corridor for well-being and healing at club.tanyad.tv, where I host my online courses, or tanyad.tv, where I host everything, all from energy-based skin and body care. It's basically feng shui for the skin. And Green Skinny Girl for upcycling your nutrition quotient if you're ready to transform to eating healthier and have more vitality. Essential oils, and so much more. Thanks for joining me. Ashe.